Hi, welcome to the part 3 of our lecture on the technological and technical change. And in this part, we will basically look to the way we can put the technological change analysis into Marxian model. Uh, well, as a starting point, but before doing that, actually, I just would like to ask one question that's on the profit rate and whether profit rate is really important or not important. And basically, in neoclassical economics, you usually see instead of profit rate, the profit amount that which is an important value. Although in actual world, you see profit rate is pretty much an important thing. I mean, the return you got for your capital is an important thing. It is something people are thinking as crucial. In neoclassical economics, actually, even though in the especially macroeconomics models, you see the profit amount is a thing that the producers are caring for, still there is this opportunity concept that is not fully utilized, in my opinion, by the neoclassical model, and that says that wherever profit rate is, if the profit return is higher in another investment, people will actually do that investment and not invest in that particular market, basically. Which means actually in the end the profit rate, the return is important, because if the return is higher at a different point, a different market, people will prefer that market. So in that sense, profit rate might be important when you decide which market to invest in. But if we are trying to find out the overall health of the economic system, in that case, which one is important, profit amount or profit rate? And here you might basically say that if a capitalist with 2,000 labor hour worth of capital has a profit rate of 10%, in one case. In the second case, we have the same thing. We have same amount of capital. The profit amount is 1%, but the productivity is 10 times higher. Well, that means this 1% profit rate, which represents 20 labor hour, compared with 200 labor hour in the first case, has the same buying power in the markets, can buy same amount of stuff, same amount of food, for example. So in that case, what can be bought is, can we say what can be bought with the profit is more important than the profit rate? Not necessarily, basically. Well, there are two characteristics of the profit rate that are that makes it especially important. One of them is profit rate is not necessarily stable; it goes up and down. And if average profit rate is 1%, basically there is a danger in successive periods. Actually, it might fall below zero, and below zero profit rate is certainly not something preferable, basically. It's something that means actually the capitalists are not earning anything. They are making loss, and that makes the system unsustainable. So 1% profit rate might be, the profit rates might be rising at some periods, maybe up to 3%, but on some periods up to all the way to the minus 1%. And that's certainly something very harmful for the capitalist system. Second thing is 1% is the average profit rate, which means actually there is a variety of capitalists with different profit rates. Well, having the average profit rate as 1% means that a significant percentage of them will actually experience below average profit rate, and that's also that means also several companies might actually go bankrupt in this case. So because of these reasons, actually profit rate should be kept high, and as long as the capitalists are actually using the money in the business, for them the actual buying power of the what this capital can buy in consumption is not that much important, or the commodity they are producing or trading is not important, except it should be something that some people are demanding for. But as long as some people are demanding it for the price they are willing to say, they don't care whether another product will serve the same consumer more or less, basically. So for them, what they produce is just instrumental, basically, and basically they will try to climb to the highest possible profit rate, also. At least that part would be great, and the higher the profit rate, the healthier will be the capitalist system, even when the buying power of the money is high. That would be the case, and that could be another reason for that we will see in the investment part. But in order to survive, in some cases, the capitalists might need to have make more investments as the system evolves, which means actually, even though the buying power in consumption, their money's buying power in consumption has increased, they might need a higher buying power to just remain in the business, basically. But anyway, that's for the profit rate. So the profit rate is the main value which is usually used to measure the health of the system, and pretty much the businesses were doing the same thing, basically, are doing the same thing mostly, basically. But anyway, let's go to the different ways the innovations can occur. I will not go over the possibility of have a good with better quality, but basically, if you produce a good with better quality, that's one possible innovation. Of course, that would mean, well, the other producers will not be able to produce that commodity for a while, which means you can sell it for higher prices than compared with its exchange value. But once that product is produced by other producers, and then the price of that better product will that product will fall. But creating a different product is a risky process, because whatever you think that makes your product better in any sense, people might not think that it is necessarily a better product. People might have a different vision, and maybe people might even think, especially if you produce this better product for a higher price, the price is not worth because of its better, because maybe it has some advantages. Very famously, I mean, for example, for the farmers, when different products were given to improve the farming output, the farmers, one of my instructors, he was very much classical, he was working on mainstream economics, but he told the farmers in general, the regular farmers, were reluctant to apply different methods or use different products in their production, because the history has taught them, if they produce anything, well, if they have a extraordinarily good harvest as a result of maybe a good input, they might be basically buy some luxuries, but if they have a bad harvest, then they will basically see their children die. So rather, they are very risk adverse. They don't want to use new technologies and products that much. So you don't know whether people will use your new product necessarily. But a safe bet would be making your old product cheaper, and to do that, you might, or at least decrease the production cost of it. To do that, you might reduce the constant capital needed to produce it. That's all inputs except the labor. You use less of those inputs. Alternatively, you might reduce V, I mean the variable capital, labor necessary to produce it. Well, and one argument on the new products is actually a significant portion. So a portion of new products were actually intended for the production, but later also actually brought into the consumption. But anyway, let's see how this. So this reduction of the cost of the production might be, in that sense, the major motive the companies have when they demand new innovations. What they do mostly, well, as a hint, you might see that, well, reducing the labor amount, making the labor more productive is usually the thing that is very much expressed when people are talking about the improvement or development of the technology, basically. But we will see which one the companies will choose in the capital accumulation part, as I told you before. But let's see how these two developments will affect a single company. So, a single company, in the short run, we assume the technological change is only used by our company, innovator company. In the long run, it spreads to all companies within the sector. The effect of the technological change on the average profit rate is negligible. Initially, our organic composition of our companies are equal to the economic average. Well, when you decrease C, things are actually simple. So let's say the company uses 10 units of constant capital, 10 units of variable capital, and 10 units of surplus values produced, which means organic composition of capital is 1. Exploitation rate is actually, this means 100%. And maybe I should write times 100 here. And profit rate, since this company has the industry-wide average, is the surplus value divided C plus B, and close it. So it is 50% basically. So when our company is basically decreasing its constant capital, if it can do that, if we assume the exploitation rate is the same, in that case, it can produce this product for 25 labor hours, but can sell it for 30 labor hours, which means our company is initially able to, well, the value of the product produced by our company or commodity produced by our company is higher than the exact time spent to produce this particular product. Well, that means our company is able to get excessive amount of profit. So what will happen when this technology will spread to the rest of the sector? We will look to this after, in our next section, because we are coming close to this 15 minutes of this section. So see you in the next section.